and all kinds of things that they do. And you just go, okay, sounds good.
Because I think, I don't know, for me, if let's say I put some weird name in there and then I start getting these automatic emails, I'd be like, oh, that's just an automatic system. They don't really care. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just.
Well,
but I guess you get what they give you. So you just roll with it and not worry about it.
Yep. There we go. Alrighty. So for our membership stuff, and you guys can tell me if you think this is helpful, because I know that there's a lot that comes into the planning end for sure. And what I was thinking is showing you guys another way that I do it with mind maps in terms of, and you can do this with your own sheet of paper. You go, okay, here's my membership. Because if you don't know what it is you want in your quote unquote membership, it truly it's impossible to say, oh, you need to build this product and you need to use the drip feature, or you need to use the lock feature, or you need to use an assessment to come before the lock. Like, there's so many things that Kajabi will do for you when you have the decisions in the blueprint for what you want to do. So one way that you can do this, and like I'm a huge fan of mind maps, and this is all a mind map is you're just connecting bubbles. And you go, okay, content is easy. Most people, that's a very easy place to start. And so one thing you want to think about is, what's the frequency? So when is content going to come out? Are you going to do, and again, the options are totally up to you. And you probably will end up experimenting with a few different ways that you do it before you land on, yep, this is exactly what I want. Because when you build it and then people start interacting with it, how they interact with it is different than how you built it, and it's different than how you would interact with it. So it's maintaining that level of responsiveness in terms of, oh, I made this and I thought you'd love it and you didn't even touch it. And then I made this other thing that was like, whatever. And it's seriously the greatest thing since, sliced bread. So you have to know the frequency. And when you're thinking about this, let's say we're going to run our membership for 5 years. And let's say we're going to do monthly. Okay, so we're going to release one piece of content monthly. So we're going to have 5 times 12. So that gives us 60 pieces. Okay, that's still a lot of content to put out. And that really is what I would say is a bare minimum. More than likely, you're going to be putting out more than that. And so you start to think about, okay, digitally, how am I going to organize this? I can't organize it until I have some kind of a guideline, what it is I'm trying to do. If I say, okay, I'm going to run it for 5 years and I'm going to do 4 times a month and I have 12 months in a year. Now I have this 60 times 4. This person's dealing with 240 at the end of that 5 years. So that's where you want to be thinking about your content, your frequency, and besides frequency, how is it delivered? Because it's really easy in Kajabi. We have our posts. These can have video, they can have text, they can have audio. You can use assessments. And at the same time, they can be published, they can be draft, they can be drip, they can be locked. So you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to deliver this kind of content in this kind of a way. And is it all published all the time? how am I using these different pieces? And even if you don't know Kajabi yet, you know how you want to deliver the content. So when you're designing, yes, you're thinking through what are the colors, what is the product going to look like, but it's the nitty gritty. How much stuff are we talking about storing? How often is it coming out? What is going in there? And am I dripping content, or am I setting everything to draft? So to rewind just a bit, when we were talking about the magazine subscription model yesterday, if somebody joins, and I've been running the membership for 6 months, just like that. Now, new person joins, but they don't join until here. Okay, they join in month 2. You have the decision. When they join in month 2, are they getting month 1 and then staying on task like this? Or they joined in month 1 and they are starting with the first piece of content. Cooking sites do this a lot. Fitness sites will do this a lot, where they're releasing, let's say, a new recipe monthly, but as people join, they're joining at a different rung, but they're starting with the first piece of content. So this is why the design element is so vital. It's just like our spine. Like, so if you picture, your body, imagine what it'd be trying to do movement wise if you had no spine. It's impossible. So when you're thinking about the design piece, it's very similar to our own physical body of a spine. Everything attaches to the spine. Our brain attaches to the spine. Our blood vessels attach to spines. Limbs attached to spines. Like, all of it has a rung that it hooks onto. So as you're doing the design piece, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be a sheet of paper going through the questions that I'm going to bring to your attention. Amanda, did you have a question?
I do.
Yeah.
You sensed it, didn't you? There's 2. One, I'd like to know, what are the assessments? Like, I've done posts and I don't really know what the assessments are and how to even use that.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2, are you going to show us how to do where someone joins in month 4 and we start them with the first content? Will you show us that?
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
I will come back to you on the assessments piece and tell you what it is. They're just like quizzes. So they're similar to Typeform. And you can use them in a number of ways, or Jotform, or Google Forms. They're a way to ask questions and record answers.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'll show you. Yep. I'll totally show you. So yes, this is the part that when you're thinking about your membership, you need to know what you're kind of going in with. Otherwise, it's almost like kid in a candy store, like a toddler let loose in a candy store. Right. You're not going to take out, like, if I let Tad loose, he's not going to just, I need a nice little bag and I'm going to put this little thing in this little bag. He is going to run from thing to thing. He's going to dump it on the floor. He's going to knock stuff over. When we go into Kajabi without like, I'm going in to buy this and I'm going to pick out this and put it into this because I know what I want, it might be fun. I mean, Tad has fun for sure if I would let him loose in a store, but it's never going to happen. I want you guys to not feel that overwhelmed sense, because truly you can do anything you want inside Kajabi. So let's go into.
I feel too like if you get all these 240 pieces and someone joins after you've loaded 235 of them, if you don't do it in a drip format, then it's like they have 200 things to look at and they may not even go and actually look at it.
It depends on how you've set it up. It depends on the member journey that you're laying out for them. So it's why many memberships will have an orientation period or an onboarding period or a self-guided, go here, go here, go here, because yes, as the information grows, as the resources grow, you want to know, okay, yep, you're coming in and I'm going to be protective of you for a little bit to get you up to speed. Just like if I join a gym or join CrossFit, whatever, they might have a, hey, we'd like you to work with a trainer to get a tour of the equipment before you just jump in and start working out. Are there people that completely skip that part? Mm-hmm. There sure are. And they might have questions that they didn't get answered. They might wander around. So it's all in the designing aspect in terms of, yep, I'm going to have all this content. This is the member journey. This is what I want them to do. You have to stay in control of that piece.
Okay.
Or it will become very unruly, for sure. Let's see, do we have a, nope, we don't have one built. Let's see if it's going to cooperate today. Yesterday, we were having trouble getting it to load a new product. So when you're on your products, they are all functionally exactly the same, with the exception of community. Community, think of community as an apple, think of all the other products as oranges. Mini course, evergreen, online membership, coaching, or Scratch, functionally, they are exactly the same. The only difference is Kajabi will auto-populate a predetermined number of posts and a predetermined number of categories. I personally start everything from scratch because everyone ends up making so many different choices. So I would always start from scratch. But for purposes of this, we're going to generate the membership one. So we're going to click this, but know that it is not any different than if I started with mini course. They're all exactly the same, except for community. Which is why when Elise was trying to edit her membership and it looked different than my screen, she was using the community functional product, which does, it looks completely different than the normal membership ones. So here on the membership, and I'm going to make myself a note because I have a quiz you guys can take in terms of what product is best, and it asks a bunch of questions, and then it tells you like theme wise what I would recommend. So I'll make sure to post that in the group. But here, here's your content. So here they make it as core training. Here's your welcome, lesson, bonus content, lessons, resources here. That may or may not work for what you're designing. You won't know unless you have a content map. What is it that you want to put into this area? When do you want it to be available? So let's say that you wanted to change up this core training. We'll make this, we're just going to call it your first, we'll call it your first week. And we'll make that one published. So when they get access to it, they would see your first week. And those are available. Then we say, you know what? I don't want you to see everything at the beginning. So I'm going to put this on drip. So this category, we're going to call it your second week. Come on, Kajabi. Days 7. That's why. Now I was trying to type over it. Couldn't do that. In the wrong spot. So I'm going to change bonus content to say your second week. And this goes based on when they purchase the offer. So if you are having everyone join at the same time, you don't want to turn that product on until everybody starts at the same time. If it's evergreen and people can join anytime that they want, obviously one member's second week is going to be different than another member's second week. But again, you're the one in control of this. And then let's say this one, we'll make this drip. We'll make this going into week 3. And we'll just make it everything else. So you don't have to keep dripping. You can just make it so that everything, no. Yeah, Amanda.
What did you mean by evergreen? Is that using the evergreen product versus the membership product?
No, evergreen means on all the time. Evergreen is on demand. So when people say they have an evergreen course, it means they're not using an open and close cart launch model. They're having it open. You could buy it 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. It is evergreen on demand all the time. They mean exactly the same thing.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So now when someone gains access to the product, the first step that they would see this in the first week. They would see this in the second week. And then depending on what else you have available, that is, you're setting the timeline. So that is the drip feature. Again, you're thinking through, what is my content? What is my frequency? What is my timing in terms of making it delivered? And it's going into the product. So if I preview the product, and logged in as an admin, so it may, oh, Kenny, you're so cute. First week should show everything. Yeah, I'm logged in as an admin, so it's going to show me everything. But your people, it's not going to show everything. That is the content aspect. So here they're showing what you can do in the sidebar. So this isn't any different functionality than is available from scratch. This is simply the product sidebar. This is when we open up a lesson, it is the post sidebar. So this is what they're showing you on that page, is exactly why I'm a huge fan of the free product strategy, because I can do that same thing in a free product that they're showing you in the membership. So when I go, and they don't have anything auto-populating, but there is a sidebar right here to the right of all of this text. You could have exactly the same step. But if I go back to the product level here, they've just added in images and set the URL to go to wherever it is. So that, but it's not special functionality. It is normal, everyday product functionality that's available in everything except community.
And if you're in the design side where you're customizing, what is it called? Post sidebar?
Yep, it's called this. There's a product level sidebar and there's a post level sidebar. So post is the individual lessons or the individual posts. Product is at the category level. So when they're looking at a category, that is called product, which is also why it's sometimes confusing, because it's not the category sidebar, it's the product sidebar, but it's visible at the category level. So it's always right over here on the left-hand side, it'll be product sidebar, and you can see they've just done images right here. So I put in the image, I set the image action. So you can use this also for your main documents. Like if you have main checklists or things that they're going to be using all the time, you can link straight to it. So it makes it really nice when you know, yep, I want this to happen. I want them to see this. I embed my Talkify calendar in my product because it's available to the members when they're in, accessing the content. I embed the calendar right in there. So it's always there. It's easy for them to find. And that you do in sidebars. And if you want to switch it, you go in the lower left-hand corner and you switch it to post. So when I switch it to post, then this left bar, the left-hand choices, will change again. Now I have the post sidebar. So if I click on that, it's showing downloads is very often one that people will have in there. But here, I can put in anything I want. If I want the videos to be available as a download, I can put in that button. You would still upload the video into the video section, but by adding this means they can download the videos. If you don't want them to download the videos, don't put that block in there. Just take it out. But the sidebar, you can put in cross-sell. This will take it straight to another offer. So you can put in another offer and it would just show up in this portion down here. So maybe you have a membership, but you offer one-on-one coaching. You could link to something like that in the sidebar. So it's allowing you to craft what you want the experience to be once you know what do you want it to be. And as you change your mind, you just delete and add things. So it's not, you're not locked in. So does that answer your question?
That's awesome.
I have a quick question while you're there.
Yeah.
The section that's above the sidebar, that's next to the image picture, yeah, that black box. What's the name of that section?
That's the post player.
Post player. Okay. And can you change the background color on that so it's not black?
Yep.
Okay.
You can change the background color and you can change the player color. So if you want your little play button to be a different color, it would be, in this case, it would be purple. And then the player background color, I changed it to a blue. And
what's the player color? Where does that show up?
If there was a video here, it would be the
buttons.
The play button, the closed caption, the enlarge. So the player controls
would be that color.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep. And you can change, you can change any of the wording. So if you don't want to call it lessons, you want to call it episodes, you can change the wording. It will always keep your default wording above it so that you know if I change this to, let's say I change this to rabbits, giving you a bizarre example. This way, you know, oh, I don't know why I called that rabbits. That really is supposed to be next category. So you'll always know what the function of the word is and what its original form is, but you can modify it to do whatever you want it to do.
Right, but you can't change the color of the word next category or lessons, correct?
If you're changing your colors, if it's not available as an individual setting, then it is controlled by the settings of the product and you go under color scheme. So here, if I want my primary color to be purple, I change that, get rid of Kajabi blue. I want my dark color, I'm here. This is where you can change in terms of all the defaults for the product. And then it's a matter of seeing when things are showing up. So here, next category, the only choice of a color that you have, where is it? Next, previous. So here I should be able to change. Let's try. That might change. Where is it going? Sometimes you just have to play around with it because the post player, that might not show up until you're playing the lesson.
Right. I guess my more specific question is when I go back and I look at the whole syllabus, the word, I think it was like category or next category, that's always in black, but that's controlled back under settings?
Yep, that's controlled under settings.
And which of those is it? Is it dark or darker?
It is going to be, depending on which theme you're using and how you're setting it up. In Premiere, your headings should be the darker.
Okay.
But if you change it and it's, because there's heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I honestly, if something doesn't look right to me, I just go in and swap it around and then and see if it's getting what I want it to be.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I don't, and you can hire, like you can hire people to custom code and get, you know, exactly what you want. If I don't need to custom code it, I'm not custom coding
right.
it.
Yeah.
There's
I'm just curious because
yep,
it's
me,
like, oh, I kind of want that black part to not be that black, but I couldn't find it in the background. I didn't realize it lived there.
Yep, this is where it lives. So if I change this, I don't know if I changed the, did I change the color?
Like the part that says everything now available, that was what I was talking about.
We go in here and I change it to orange. Like I said, it should be the orange. I mean, it should be the darker, which, yeah, I don't know why that's not changing.
Okay. It's not really that important, but it did. Oh, there it changed to, oh, that's purple now, but that's your main, that's your primary.
That's my primary.
But resource 1 is lives somewhere else.
That lives somewhere else.
Okay.
I would have to hunt around.
Okay, it's not worth hunting at this point.
Okay.
It baffled me last night. I was trying to figure it out and I finally gave up.
Gotcha. Yeah. That definitely is not something that I don't have it memorized. Other questions on this? Did you have a question, Amanda?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm just super excited that I got to see the little post thingy, the little sidebar.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
You could put testimonials there. You could put all kinds of stuff there, right?
Yeah, I was saying, you can do truly anything you want to do. You just want to know, what is it that I'm trying to do? Because otherwise, you'll spend a whole day, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, look what I can do over here, which is fun. I love it. I could spend and have spent many, many days in Kajabi. Oh, what would happen if I did this? And could I link this up and do that? Well, that is fun. If that's not the goal of the day,
right,
then it's not a good use of time. And it becomes overwhelming because you forget, okay, what is it what I was trying to do again? Oh, I need a link for the Facebook group. Cool. You could put it A, B, C, or D places. Get in, put it in, get out.
Right. And I feel like knowing these little things too, though, give you a more functioning site for people, like your members, instead of just trying to go in and create what you know. It's like, this makes it more functional. It looks prettier. Not pretty, but it looks like, wow, you're getting a whole lot for your membership. You fill that up with with, you know, you do the gardening and you do the plant the flowers and, you know, just the house looks prettier
Yep.
with all the curb appeal.
Yep. Here, I'll show you. I'll pull up two that look totally different because you will choose, like you'll pick your themes, and when you know, okay, what kind of content am I looking at? That helps determine themes, because some themes just lend themselves better to huge amounts of content, and some do okay with small or large pieces of content. And you have to know, okay, what is it? What's the product? How is it fitting in what it is that I'm doing? And then playing around with it, because you can change product themes. That is, you can always change it. However, it's not a one-to-one switch.
Right, you have to rebuild the whole thing. I figured that one out.
Yeah, you got to rebuild anything that's not common to both of them. So, okay, come here. Okay,
That's not fun.
I don't want that one. No, and that's why if you have the luxury of being at the beginning, planning it out so that you can make those decisions and they last you longer, works out, you know, very well. Like, it's just a good use of your time. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. So here are mine. Okay. So this is on Premiere. This is one of my hub products. So I call it Training Wheels. This is where everything in PBK starts here, because we're learning and enjoying Kajabi at our own speed. So here's the product. Here's what I was saying is I embed my calendar. So my calendar lives right over here. And you guys won't be able to see it now because, again, I'm logged in as an admin, but all of mine are timed out. So all of the posts, they drip out at a specific time frame. But here, this is where I use the call to action feature to just send people straight to whatever the tool is. So instead of linking this in every single post, because I have hundreds of posts in this product, it's what are the points of commonality? What is the, you know, yes, it's content, but it's content they need to access all the time. So put it where it's easy to find it versus it's buried in some post that they have to keep going and looking for.
So is this just in the header?
Yep. Yep, it's in the header, and you can add a call to action. And then you just set it as, this is a URL, these will go like to wherever I have the document so that they always have the most updated version. So this is the graphical piece of North Pole to New York City with like all the sequences and everything mapped out, which again will look like Greek. I fully expect it to look like Greek to you right now.
Hey, Tamsin, I have a question.
Yeah.
On the previous screen where you had the calendar,
Yep.
did you custom code that to get it to fit so?
Nope. I use the Talkify has the full calendar embed code, and Talkify has the mini calendar embed code. I use the mini embed code for the sidebars.
And do you have the white label version, or?
I have the paid version. I think there's only one level of it.
I think there's three. I've been looking at it because I've been thinking.
I pay, I think, right around $80 a year. I have that level, whatever that level is.
Okay, so I think it's the minimal branding.
Okay.
There's no branding, there's minimal branding, and then there's like big branding.
Okay, yeah, I don't have, I have this level. This is, so if they click, it should open up. I think it's going to take over this window. Yep, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Yes, so see at the bottom where it says calendar by.
Yes. Yep.
So that's the Minimal branding. Okay, got
Got
it.
it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And I will, if I have a choice when I'm doing stuff, for sure, if there's an affiliate program, I leave the branding on, but always, absolutely. I also will leave it on even if there isn't, if I have the choice. Even if there isn't an affiliate program that I'm a part of, I will leave it on there so that it eliminates the questions of people emailing me to say, what are you using? If I just leave it on there, and again, that works for my niche. Like my people want to know what these tools are. Your audience, it might be horrible to have the tool branding on there. But there's like people will say, oh, I want to remove that branding. If it's an affiliate program, I'm sure as heck not removing it because I'll take their money all day. And I don't want the emails. What do you use for this? Because, you know, it only takes me a few minutes to respond, but it's still a few minutes to respond.
Does Talkify have an affiliate program?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I wish they did, but they don't. But it works great for me. And this Training Wheels is our PBK hub. This is the instructor block. Okay, so this is just, I repurposed it. It's not, you know, the Tamsin bio, but this is the instructor block. So you can repurpose stuff like that. And I don't know, let's see what we have on the sidebar for the posts. Let's get into one. Come here. So I have recommended resources, which for me, I use it as a blog post. It's where I just maintain all of my links. So it's for everybody. And then the calendar. So for my purposes, you know, this is really the top part is what people are using most often. And this is our hub product.
That's just 4 separate call to action buttons.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Because sometimes I have issues with those little borders and making it fit right and it looking right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm using the inline header, or not the inline, stacked, I think is what they call it. So if I had inline, then this header would be wonky. They'd be mismatched. So a lot of it is when you have your content in there is playing around with it. Okay, I don't want it to look wonky. Okay, well, what is causing it to not line up? Well, there's too many. I have way too many. Okay, well, let's see what stacked looked like. Stacked solved my issue. I put my logo up at the top because I want them to know what product they're in, and then putting the stuff underneath it. Then a totally different product, but I realized I just switched it over back to the Premier theme. I used to have the members lounge, which is really where we put all of our calls and trainings and workshops, different like member stuff. I was using the momentum theme, but I have too much content. It was not, didn't look the way I wanted it to, so I switched it back to Premier. But for the calls, I mean, I have 52 at a bare minimum every single year. So now I've had to switch to making a subcategory and making quarterly pieces where like 2019 was just all of the, like wasn't using it. 2018 was just all like everything in there stacked. It just became too much. So now I do it with a subcategory, which is set to display. So April is a different subcategory, and then I put the replays in there. So that is same exact product that Training Wheels is on, because it's the Premier theme, and it, you know, has the same feel. You just put in what they need. And this is more replay type things that are, we had a special trainer, we had something going on. It just goes into the members lounge product.
So when you make the post, it gives you the option to upload a video, but if you have a phone call that's not going to be a video, how would you post just a phone call there as
You
opposed to a video?
upload the audio file and then you add the audio player when you're designing the post. So if I go back into, second, let's get back to the drawing board. When you are at the aesthetic level, so not the content level, this is content. We got to get back to, oh, sorry, hold on, we got to switch. Oh. I am not allowed to play on my real site. Cannot mess that site up. Okay, so we go back to the product that we were working on. Oh, where'd it go? You can always upload just into the download area. It'll upload an MP4, or sorry, an MP3. But you can also add at the post level the audio player. So you have to go in. Sorry, post body. Audio player will show here. Okay, so you can put in right down here where it says add content, and you can add in the post audio player. So I can add a call to action, I can add custom code, downloads, video download, the text, or an audio player. So if you want an audio to play, you just need to go in and put this in at the customization level.
So what if you don't have a video to post above it though? What can you put an image there? Mm-hmm. Kind of a,
yep.
I couldn't figure out how to just put an image.
Yep, you just go in. Each lesson will have an image section and you just add the image.
Okay, so you have to do it through the customize the website?
No, you want to be in the actual product.
Okay.
So I can go into whatever post it is. And it'll say right here, poster image.
Oh, okay, nice. And then it'll just cover over video. Yep. Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
How about it, like the other day I was trying to upload a YouTube video of just a kid that I wanted people to see. Mm-hmm. And so I went in to insert that, and it got to the place, just like if you're doing an image, where do you want to pull this from? And then you have your list of things that come up, whether you want to get it off your computer and blah, blah, blah. And mm-hmm. So I chose the one that said URL link, mm-hmm. and just put the YouTube URL link in there. And then I got this funky pop-up that says all this gobbledygook that I didn't really understand. It was a yellow box that popped up. So in other words, like over here on downloads on the right-hand side, mm-hmm. you click there. Mm-hmm. And then what I did is I chose maybe I'm doing it incorrectly, but I chose.
It won't let you can't upload a video into this section.
Gotcha.
So the video has to go. And when you're doing a YouTube video, you want to make sure that it's pretty clear you have permission that you can do it, because if you put anyone's YouTube it goes against the YouTube terms of service. If I take a video that's not mine, that I don't have permission for, and I put it inside or behind an opt-in or a paywall, I'm violating YouTube's terms of service. So as long as what you're doing is fine. This is where videos go. So videos go up here if I can upload the file, meaning I have it on my computer or Dropbox or wherever. When you want to put a YouTube video in, which you can use instead, is you just use the source code. So if I go to YouTube, jump over here. So I can, let's see if I can grab it. Yep. So here's the embed code, and I can hit copy, move zoom around here. Okay, so that's copied, and then I'm going to go back to here. I can add that in. I do that all the time with my YouTube videos. So when you have YouTube, you either want to use the link from the share section or the embed code. So here is the embed code from our live video that's going on right now. So that's where you can put it. And it'll pull straight over from YouTube, and you can put it wherever you want.
Okay.
You can do the same thing for Facebook too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anywhere there's an embed code, you just put it into there. But
Another way that I did it is I put the image in that section where you just had your embed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the link right up there in the toolbar. And then I was able to put the YouTube link in there, and it embedded behind the video. So either way, correct? Now,
how many ways can we add to 12?
Yeah.
This is why it's the beauty and the beast. Like, there's rarely only one way to pull something off. Very rarely.
Now, can you do the same thing over in the sidebar?
For
if I wanted to just, I don't want to, use up this space here in the body with that. Can I say, hey, here's an interesting video you might want to look at? Would that live at all or be appropriate in the sidebar?
If you want it available on every single post.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's only for this one, then it has to go either in the video section as a link in the text body, an image linked in the text body, or an embedded in the text body. If you want it on every single category page, when the category is opened, you would use product sidebar. If you want it on every single post, then you would use the post sidebar. So
I would.
It'll go everywhere. So probably not where I would put it.
Okay. And then, so how would I get permission to use somebody's video on YouTube?
Contact them. Usually, like, you could, you can tell, I mean, depending on who it is, they'll have their settings that make it so that I can't embed it on some other site other than the domains that I've listed. So if I try to, it'll say you do not have permission to do this. It's, as long as I'm linking to it, that's different than if I'm trying to upload it as my video. So when you're linking, like, hey, watch this video, it's taking them back to the YouTube platform.
Right.
That's totally, that's totally,
okay.
That's completely.
That's what I'm doing.
That's completely different.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't uploading and then whatever. And then I have a really pressing question before we end today, but I want you to stay on your, if anybody has more questions here. Amanda, did you have anything more here that you needed?
No.
Okay.
No, good.
So my hot question is, I've been spending, I'm sure, way too much time trying to figure it out, and I'm sure you have it somewhere in your Trello board.
My arsenal, yes.
Yes, and I'm reading through, but it's like I'm not quite getting that exact thing that I need.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind just backing up a little bit, when you have your read magnet and you have your offer, like take this questionnaire, they click on that, they're going to be asked to give their email and name.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to know is, at that point, how do they end up that they have to get a username and password? And as I recall, there were two ways. Either they can set it up on their own, or Kajabi just assigns it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't figure out where that connection is. Like, how am I either setting it up for them, or, you know, like letting Kajabi set it up, which I think I would prefer, or how do they get a choice to set it up?
So if you're using a form, Kajabi is going to set it up, because the only place that I can say set up your username or create username and password is on the offer checkout page. So if they don't see this page, they can't create a username and password. So if you're doing a typical lead magnet where they're creating putting their name and email into the form, so here's my form on the page. When they click submit, if you're granting an offer that has a product, because that's why they need to log in, is to get access to a product, then the username and the password is generated. I don't need to log in if I'm not getting a product.
So I have to set an automation that says, when form is submitted, grant offer to product? Or...
If you are doing the free product strategy as part of the lead magnet. If you're not, this does not come into play at all. Then it is simply, they fill out the form, they click submit, and then they will receive, if you have an email sequence that's tied to it, the email sequence will start to send. I recommend having, once they hit submit, that they see a thank you page with next steps. So when they hit submit, this is what they see.
Okay, and then what's in there for next steps?
Depends on what you want them to do.
Okay. I ultimately want them to be able to set up a username and password so that the product is stored in the library. Okay.
If you want them to set it up, then again, how many ways can we get to 12? You can have the thank you page that has the CTA to go to the offer checkout, and you have to tell them how to enter this. So what you run into, they've entered the form, they click submit, they see the thank you page, awesome, and then that's it. They don't do anything else. Those people will not have this product in their library. But as part of your email sequences, as part of your nurture welcome sequence, you're reminding them, hey, you need to go click this link and get your product. If you're granting the offer as a part of this form being submitted, then they never see this because it's done automatically. It's not dependent on their actions. So when you're creating your North Pole in New York City, you're saying, okay, what is it that I want them to do? Okay, I want them to opt in. I want them to create their username and password, and I want them to log in. It's a pretty standard 3 steps. Well, because of what you've identified. I want them to opt in. Great. That's this page. I want them to make a username and password. That means I got to get to this page. I need them to know, hey, go log in. Yep, I should have a thank you page telling them, click here to log in and get your product. But this page needs to come after in that situation. So if you draw it on paper, what is it I want them to do? Then it's easy for someone like me to tell you, here's the order, hook this up to this, to this, to that. Because again, so many ways you can get to 12. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'm just trying to think of, like, recently within the last 2 weeks, I signed up for somebody else's, come into my group, and we're going to show you how to do a couple of things. And then I got the thank you, or the thank you email. The username and password was decided for me. So
are they using Kajabi?
Yes.
Yep. Then are they using a product?
They were there. It was a free product to just learn some information about a topic.
Yep. Then they're using this.
Okay.
They're granting the offer, because when I use the form and I attach the automation, Kajabi assigns it. If I send them to the offer checkout page and I have set the ability for them to create their username and password, then they can do it.
Which do you feel is something that's more streamlined? I mean, do most people still go through all those steps to get their cookie at the end, or no? Or is it better just
it depends on the audience. It really depends on the audience, because for some people it's their first time doing anything like this, and they follow all the directions and they pay really close attention. Other people sign up, and 10 seconds after they hit the button, they don't even remember what page they were on. Like, they have no clue they signed up for anything. So it really is your person. And is it beneficial to say to them, hey, we're going to create your username and password. When you enter this, I'm going to show you the next page that's going to have the button, and we're going to log in. I find that is helpful for most people. Again, like we talked about a few days ago, if you're selling them something, they're going to have to know how to use an offer checkout page to buy from you. So is it different than what mainstream marketing is, which is enter your name and then a whole magic show happens behind the scenes? Yes. However, when they have to go buy from me, it's not the first time they're seeing this page. So I'm a big fan, train the behavior I want. Train the patterns that build up the familiarity from the get-go. And it doesn't hurt anything. I mean, I've never seen like, oh, they went to an offer checkout page and nobody signed up. No, like I've never seen that be the case. But there are plenty of marketing people that will completely disagree with me, and that's okay.
So do you just go from the form, and when they submit, it just takes them to the offer checkout and then the thank you? Is that just how it would be laid out?
You would want, depending on what you've put on this instruction page for the form, you don't need, if I'm using this right here, I don't need to use a form.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to. What I can give them is, here's the copy. So we're going to get rid of, I don't need a form. I can just have copy that's going to tell them, click on this CTA.
And that'll take them to the offer checkout.
Yes. Just like that.
In the thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And then there you could still ask them to make the password and
yes,
whatever you decide.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
So if I'm on,
So
and you can send them straight here. Like you can have a video on that page. You can have testimonials. You can have text. Like, you could make an offer checkout page work very similar to an opt-in form page. It's not as pretty, but it is one way that you can do it. But it's just as easy to have your pretty page with your copy, and the CTA says, let's create your account. Let's get you access to the videos. Let's walk you through what you, there is no way to automatically have them purchase things. If there was, I might do a different sequence. But given you want them to buy from you, show them how to do it from the beginning. They're gonna have to do it, and you do it sooner, it's more familiar, then they see it again. It's like, oh, yep, just click, 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 done. Got my thing. When you're on, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to me, it feels like just starting from a landing page and putting your copy on there with the CTA and just send them right over to the checkout, and then collect the information that I want, i.e. the password and username. Seems more streamlined to me than to having them go check their email. Now here's another step, go here. I mean, I understand the thank you page is more like, hey, you're here. You're just sort of warming them up. Is that sort of the idea with the thank you page versus like boom, boom?
Yeah, the thank you page is confirm that the action they took is done. So we're confirming, yes, you signed up for XYZ. Now do this. What do I want you to do next while I have your attention? So it's confirming completed action, providing the next step of action.
I really like this because my experience the past few months, we were promoting a product, and when having Kajabi just set it up, people would be like, oh, I can't find my thing. Can you just reset the password? And so it was like a customer service nightmare.
Yeah.
To have to resend all these people the link to get logged in, and then it doesn't work. And I'm not on the technical side of Kajabi. Like, I don't, like, it's not my, so I find that this is easier because then it's a password they're used to. Like, they're their own customer service.
Exactly.
This way is where you're at now. You're saying this would be directing them to be their own customer service.
Yep.
Versus me setting it, or versus allowing Kajabi to set it up behind the scenes. And just
right. Right. If the more magic show I'm making happen, Kajabi has to tell them what happened because they're not seeing it, which really it does. It leads to confusion. It is, 10 years ago when you might sign up for one of these things and there might have been 2 people offering it. Now, every retail site has the get 10% off coupon. Every place you go, your email is hundreds and thousands of emails. And so you're having them enter, and then you're doing this magic show, which it's nice. I mean, fine. Let it all happen behind the scenes. But when you want them to buy from you, teach them how to use the page now.
That makes sense.
It is, to me, it is no different than with my children. I am not going to magically have the towels fold themselves. No, if I want you to learn how to fold the towel, you're going to see the towel unfolded. You're going to have to pick it up. You're going to have to do the task. And that's where, people you'll often see are having trouble with when they go to get to buy on the offer checkout page. And so their email is already in the system, but they didn't know that Kajabi made their password for them because it was a magic show. And so when they're trying to check out, they can't check out. And so people get upset. Their email exists. They don't know where it is. They're trying, like, they have all these issues. And I'm like, okay, I haven't had a single one of those issues. People that I work with haven't had a single one of those issues. And so I was like, okay, what's going on? Oh, we are teaching the behavior that we want. We're providing a free product. We're teaching them how to log in from the beginning. Okay, this has got to be playing into it. We've just done it forever and always this way, that that's how, if I want them to do it, I click under extra contact info, collect name and password. So you'll see the form right now just has email address. But the minute I hit save, now full name. So this will populate into your name field, Amanda. Their email address, they put that in, and then they create their password. So in this verbiage right here, I can let them know you're going to create a name, your username and password. You're going to be creating those, and please write them down. Like, write them down wherever you want to write them down. Kajabi will send them. You have the option to also send confirmation emails. So that's, there's other steps that you can do it. But I have text space here. I can let them know, and I can display a thank you page as soon as they click sign up for free that says, now click here, which I set the call to action to the login page to the library, enter exactly what you just entered, and you'll go directly into the library. So it's telling them where they're going to go, how they're going to get there.
And the library is my URL from when I set it up back in whatever category that is. I'm drawing a blank what the name of that is.
Yeah, it's always your Kajabi site /login. So mine is tamsinhorton.com/login.
Okay.
So it's whatever your Kajabi site is set as /login. Like, that's just where it's going to go. So you have them enter their stuff and tell them exactly what to do.
So since you said that, I went into the Kajabi account to set up the custom URL, and there's like, it doesn't look like yours. I guess it looks new because it's never been done. But it was kind of confusing and so I was like, I'm not touching anything. I don't want to mess something up. But it says to set up Cloudflare. So like it doesn't give me anything that you have. It just has Cloudflare, set up your domain on Cloudflare, and then underneath that's like SSL. So do I need to do that first to set up Cloudflare?
You want to go, just a second. We'll go in here. Yes, you don't have to do Cloudflare anymore. You can do it two different ways. So if I go under custom domain, right here, if I
look like that at all.
Are you an admin on the site?
I am.
Yeah, you should go under.
You want me to show you?
Yeah, show me what yours looks like.
It looks like this. And that's it. That's my only two options.
Wait. Perfect.
Looks like you're already in Cloudflare.
Yeah, you're already in there. So if you go down and toggle that button.
Toggle this one?
Click.
Oh, yeah.
There, yeah.
Okay, because I was like, I'm not touching anything.
Yeah. No.
Right.
Like, I was pretty sure that I didn't have anything special going on there.
So we don't want to do anything with Cloudflare.
No. And that you set your Kajabi site when you know I'm not moving that sucker. Because yes, you can move it, but depending on like directing your emails, like depending on if you have your email tied to like like a GoDaddy service or a Bluehost service, you
Yeah.
have to redirect the it's not just the SSL. There's another, it's not the C names. It's the,
Isn't it D something? DNS?
no, but it's not the DNS. It's whatever. There's a mailbox one that you have to mess with. So when you know, yep, I am taking that domain and I am parking it on Kajabi, then do it. But you don't have to, because you can always go into your post and redirect. So, but I didn't have tamsinhorton.com set on the Kajabi site for probably a good 6 months to a year, because even though I was in love with it, I had never gone all in on a platform before. And I was like, there's no way I'm moving all this stuff over that I'm unfamiliar with, only to say, I don't really want to be on Kajabi anymore and have to unhook all of it. So you can just go into, like for me, I use GoDaddy. I go into the DNS management, set tamsinhorton.com points at the Kajabi site. And I personally could care, this is me personally, could care less if the domain says my Kajabi in it. No one is not buying my stuff because of what my URL says.
Right.
Some people get very opinionated about that. And they're like, no, I can't have any of that in the domain. I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm pretty sure if my business is not dependent on what's displaying in someone's URL, like that's not tanking my sale. So I just redirected for the first 6 months or a year. And then once I knew I found my forever internet home, then I just said, and when I did it, you had to go, like it all went through Cloudflare. Now you can toggle between the two.
So that's where she's at. Like she's got all this stuff she's built in GoDaddy because she knows that platform. I hate GoDaddy. It might be user friendly, but it's so ugly and choppy, and it just doesn't flow as pretty as easily as Kajabi. So I'm trying to convince her to move from her GoDaddy to Kajabi, and she's just kind of like, So would you recommend just creating like, I guess just another domain name until we're in that phase, like kind of like where you were, where you're like, okay, I'm comfortable with moving it all over now?
Yeah, because you can link, you can link up anything she currently has from a site perspective. You can just link it so you can connect the two in the best way possible. I never recommend trying to set up courses, set up memberships, set up funnels, and set up a site all at the same time. Pick the priority. Is the priority we want the courses in Kajabi? Then do that part first.
Yeah.
And then do the other stuff later. Because
so then how do you send them from GoDaddy to Kajabi? Just use that just use whatever link Kajabi creates for it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we've been doing, and
Yeah.
nobody seems to care.
Yeah, no, that's not detrimental at all.
She has a weird website anyway. It's .coach, which people don't even know that's available. And we're seeing it more and more popular now, where a lot of folks are using, instead of .com, they're using different things. And so she's training that behavior. So she doesn't want to undo all that with truthcoach.com, which she has that too. But I'm also like, why not? You've got folks that are going to put .com anyway. We can just have Kajabi be the .com one, or GoDaddy be the .coach one, and eventually just get everybody on the .com, because it's not picking up that fast. The retraining human behavior.
Yep, but no, just use navigation bars and call to actions.
Okay.
To accomplish what you want. And then when you know, yep, we're moving over here, and this is where
you can have both go to the same site once it's all done.
Yep.
So just to finish that thought about the login, you were going in and you got the domain, what domain you set, like video, and then how do you put the /login? Where does that live? Do you go under your website pages and go to customize login?
Yep. So you go to website, design login is where it will live.
Can you show us that on
Yep.
your, because I don't think I went the
Sure
correct path. I went
So-
website to the laundry list of,
Website
it's-
design, and then right here.
oh, okay, yeah, I did get there. All right, and then customize.
Mhm. And
Okay,
you can't do a lot. I mean, there's not a lot. You can put an image and that's about it. There's not a lot of customization going on.
all right.
I'm sure if you custom coded, you could do whatever you wanted, but yeah.
And then where is the URL that we're using to get to?
It's just /login. Like it's your domain, it's your Kajabi domain /login. That's
So if you hit the preview button, will it show us?
Mhm.
In the,
yep.
okay, so it's like whatever your account is, .mykajabi.com/login. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So do I take that whole link? That's my link I'm putting over there with all that whole huge thing. Oh, it's just on preview.
Yep. Yeah, it's
I don't want-
just your whatever your Kajabi domain is. So either domain.com/login
That's
or name.mykajabi.com/login. But it's
that
just,
other stuff from the question mark over is just get rid of that. You know.
yep. No,
Got
you
it.
just need login.
Oh man.
This is, I mean, there is not a lot of customization. That's it right there.
Okay. Well, that solves a lot of the puzzles because I was like, wow, how do I get them over there to even log in?
Mhm. Yep,
Yeah, got it. Okay.
that is it.
That makes a lot more sense now after spending a lot of time trying to figure that out. That's okay. We got time on our hands.
That we do. That we do.
Oh